Okay, great. So we are live. Right? And ones. Usually with the webinar, like you know how it is, because we've actually done these things before. You go live and you just, it doesn't have to be like smack dab in the beginning. It could be like this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
People seem.
Yeah.
What time?
Yes, it's all right. It's cool. It's, yeah. There's a reason why I wanted to lift it. Okay, so yes, greetings everyone. This is Nayora. I want to say much respect, to first of all, and our ancestors. Give thanks, to Rastafari. Give thanks for love. Give thanks for life. Here we are at the second total ITAL. As we really strive to keep our word. We give thanks and praise to all ones that are going to be involved in this. So I'm just testing, making sure that the equipment is running right and everything is in order. But we are going to begin in 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. We shall begin the total ITAL, Caribbean, International Caribbean Indigenous Healers webinar. All right. Give thanks and praise to all our ancestors, the children. Give thanks and praise to all ones that are tuned in right now and heard about it. And my name is Nayora, and I represent Rastafari. All houses are Rastafari. I represent, the Virgin Islands community, the Caribbean community. Dominica, I represent my parents. I represent my ancestors. I represent Rastafari. Haile Selassie I Jah. Yeah, man, I'm Impressed Man. And this is a real beautiful, beautiful, beautiful part two, because this is a combination of the brothers and the sisters, same. So I'm intrigued, happy to know that we are continuing what we said that we would continue for the sake of the people. So give thanks for love, and so we stay tuned. At this moment in time, before we begin, we shall start with some deep breathing by Ras Bobby. I don't know if you would like everyone to come forward, or you just like to be here alone. But I think it would be nice if everyone would come forward. As a matter of fact, I will come forward. Okay? Just really, yes, Ella, we can start with the breathing here as well. Everyone's in the frame. So, yeah, you're welcome.
Yes, give thanks for life. On behalf of Sister Ajani, let us synchronize our minds. Take a deep breath in. Out.
Yeah.
You exhale, involve the carbon dioxide and inhale oxygen. Keep your breath. Breathe out. Exhale completely. Inhale slowly. Eli, Selassie, Rastafari. Eli, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Eli, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari.
Okay, great, fantastic. So once again, royal people, we are here at the second Total ITAL Caribbean International Indigenous Webinar Series. And without further ado, we shall begin. Thanks.
Yes, that's the Nairo. That's the man behind the scenes. Jah, Rastafari. The Mascana rules of the schools. I don't know. The code of that. I don't know. But I tell you, the same everything, the same Yahoo. The Misha Tenta, a car of the same the connection of the village. Anything charging, setting charge. Later, in the cabinet, and Yan Room, the Kennedy, and the pick up a cooler element, and get shot in an island, masculine, this black. Hallelujah. Rastafari. I is last eye, dear majesty, and our beloved mother of creation, Empress Menen. We give thanks and praise to be here in the flesh, live and direct from those times to these times, for all times, being captured with the technology of the day. Local scribe, this technological beast, you must catch everything we say, because this is a testimony of the true and living eye. Jah, Rastafari, live and direct. I wake up this morning with nothing on my mind. Yes, I wake up this morning. Jah knows I was feeling fine, but Fred Locke turned on the TV to his favorite channel to find. Here comes a news flash, and it nearly blows my mind because it seems like nothing matters. No one really gives a damn. And now the world is acting like a ticking time bomb. A time bomb, ticking time bomb. Nobody's paying attention. Armageddon already here. And now the world is acting like a ticking time bomb. It's a ticking time bomb, ticking time bomb. Now when I rise up in the morning, you shadow upon my mind. Yes, I rise up every morning. I know I'm feeling fine because now I turn on no plastic TV. I'm on the up, I'm on different vibes. I talk Congo Rastaman liberty. You got to keep our old tribe alive because nobody's paying attention. The King of Kings has made it clear. And all the world has got it like a ticking time bomb. It's a ticking time bomb, ticking time bomb. You're not really listening. Armageddon already here. Now the world has got it like a ticking time bomb. A time bomb, ticking time bomb. Watch out. Rastafari did on the scene. From those times to these times and for all times, we have a wonderful presentation for you this evening. I am flanked by Queen Omega, so so I feel like a baby sitting in the room. These systems here, man, you wouldn't believe what they're bringing to you to be captured live and direct with the technology of it today. This is the present day scribe, these people behind the scenes. They used to do it on papyrus and leather, but we're doing it with technology right now. Capture everything we can of a person so you don't miss nothing. I am the priest, highly Israel. I'm born filthy brown. I come to be one of the brownest people in creation. I love myself, I love my color, I love my people. And we must learn to love ourselves with the S. We have a lower self and a higher self. And these beloved people, we are flanked by mighty archangels, you see. They will be bringing you some wise man, knowledge and understanding on how to take care of the goodie. Some people say the body, but it's a good thing. We have the chlorophyll priest himself from the International Black Congress, Just Speedy. Yeah. We have Ras Bobby, the International Herb Man. Yes, African herbalist. And of course, I have the Empress Rima on my right and the Empress Aisha on my left. They're going to bring you some things for the Queen Omega, make you know we are divine people, divine people from head to toe, inside, outside. What you eat, what you say, what you do, how you live, have everything to do with what you will be, what you were, and what we are. So we give thanks once again, Rastafari, John and I are the mountain dynasty, that's Bassa, you're picking on the air, it's just the Beverly there, so it's our guidance and everyone, Empress. So I'm going to take a little time right there now and let some of these angels introduce themselves to you. And in the Ivan order, I would like to go first to Ivan right hand side. The Empress herself, Sister Rima. Can you tell them a little bit about what's going to bring to the world today?
Yes, I give thanks for total ITAL, give thanks to Naira and Rasbani for bringing this platform necessary for, enlightening our people, each one teach one. I give thanks to be among such blessed ones as well, here to share this knowledge. As what is knowledge if it's not shared, because we all make up one body, as our honorable priest say, it's not body. Give thanks for the body. And I come forward to bring the enlightenment of, holding highly the goddess within creation, within you as a woman, the universal health, universal healing, because once we start with ourselves, even as females, which house the life, we can do in the creation time to bring forth the life. We must try to be, ultimate, utmost health, so that we can bring forward healing, healthy beings that would, continue to shine such light within creation. So my purpose here is for us to see how we can use natural products, that was God given to us. The Almighty bless us with natural products, natural skincare products, healthcare products, internally, externally. And it's as simple as, the turmeric, the ginger, the lemons, everything natural that you can actually put within your body. A goodie would also, be able to put on as a topical agent as well that you can create on your own. I'm just going to share what I do have to offer as products that I do make myself, but also enlighten ones that they can also be able to prepare some simple, remedies even at home that you can take care of yourself and teach your younger daughters so that the legacy can continue on. Because what was in the beginning shall continue, continuously be, and that's where we are heading within a realm where everything returns to nature. Whatever we use is supposed to be able to go back into the earth without defiling the earth. So defile not yourself, defile not creation.
Yes, the mothers of creation always have a message. We have to take time and listen. All of us come from this great darkness, this great blackness. They call it womb. Yes, mama. Teach. On my left hand side, no. We're going to have Sister Aisha tell you about how to keep the outer structure in some beautiful alignment. See the example there? Watch the why I feel like a little kid.
So, good evening, everyone. My name is Aisha Zakia, and the name of my segment this evening is called The Dynamic Movement of the Spine for Health and Well-Being. So, we think of the spine as a conduit for our nerves and all of this. You know, it's spinal fluid that keeps us all hydrated, but it's also a conduit for us to the Most High. So if you think about the postures we assume when we're meditating or when we're praying, so that we open up the space in our body, we open up space in our spine, we open up our mind to inspiration and guidance and intuition. So if we think about our spine as an accordion, when it's nice and tight and rigid, very inflexible, we don't have a lot of space. We become rigid, we become older. When we create space in the spine, space in the vertebrae, we can move the spine in all directions, forward, backwards, left, right, twisting, and even sitting up and lengthening, having that good posture. So a little bit later, I'll show you some good exercises that you can use, a chair or a patio railing or anything that you have on hand to do some quick stretches, whether you're at home, outside, or at work, you have a few minutes to stay away. So we'll talk about how to open the space, open the mind.
Excellent, excellent. I look forward to that. Wow. Look forward to this, man. This is going to be nice. Isn't it? Yeah, so I want to say, I watched this old guy named Dick Van Dyke. I remember that old dude. He says he was about 93, 94 years old. I watched him on TV and they said, what's the secret to your old? Because I'm still alive, you know. And say, just keep moving. So simple. This man 90 odd years old. I'm not tell you what he means. I said, just keep moving. I say when you wake up in the morning, first thing you do is get up. So I never stop from there. So I think she's going to take off where that leave off, right? How to move properly, to move in alignment with the spine and everything. So now the Empress will have some wound care going on, some motion going on. No, Priest Just Speedy going to show you how to keep yourself clean with certain nutritional drinks and one and let off on and thing, man. Yes, sir. That's all right.
Last year, Rastafari. Out of love to one another, give thanks once again. I must say, first of all, I like to give thanks, to the perfect balance of creation, King Alpha and Queen Omega. We give thanks, for the mother and father of creation. Give thanks, I must say, without the balance, nothing will exist, So we give thanks for the sun and moon. Give thanks, for, even this platform still, to even bring an awareness to our nation, as even the topic is, Indigenous healers, so we give thanks, that, we could share our information, towards, our people, and just give some insight. The topic that I will bring forward as a contribution will be the benefits of chlorophyll, the health benefits of chlorophyll. So we already know chlorophyll is actually the green pigmentation from any green leafy, plant or vegetables and so forth. And chlorophyll is actually plant blood. It has a similarity between the chlorophyll and actually the human blood. They're very similar in the molecular structure of it. The only thing which is different is that the chlorophyll blood, which is, it has magnesium, and the human blood has iron. So this is the only difference, when it comes to, the similarities of, chlorophyll and the human blood. So, man, we give thanks still, to even sit amongst, mighty ones still, and the big gods and goddesses of the earth, So we give thanks still, and, I pray that, everyone, I would say the nation accept the information in a positive, non-biased, and an upright way, So I pray that once as we disseminate the information, one freely accept it, So man, we give thanks. So that's
Thanks, please give thanks. Yes, as the brethren say, this is very vital information. This is Nayara TV YouTube station. We had a previous webinar, and this one here. If you don't see them, please see them and share the information. We are doing this out of the love and the goodness of our heart right now, because we understand there's a plague on creation. And we don't call it a virus or another thing we can talk about. We know about the book of Revelation long before it written. Our European copies and versions of we don't know what happened to a system like Babylon and stretch up themselves like a green bay tree. They must get chopped down. People get chopped themselves down. So we've seen many civilizations rise and fall. The Babylonian, the Greek, the Roman, the Byzantine Empire, the Middle Ages right till now, the Trump administration, they rise and fall. And I Rastafari with there all the while. Naya Biggie, the sons of Noah, right? The Bobo Shanti, the priests, constantly holding our sabbatical. The universe vibrates on certain patterns, numerical patterns. And with that in mind, I want to share with you. We say best for last, but the last shall be first. And that's how it goes. Sometimes you're first and you're last, and you could be last and first, same way. But I have a chief elder I want to tell you about herbs. We were speaking earlier about the mystics behind digitalia, what they call Sirius A and B, and how these Africans know about this thing that cannot be seen with the physical eye. We have charted it, and we have patterned our own lifestyle and our own time clocks off these things. So knowledge of the earth, knowledge of the environment, knowledge of the elements, and knowledge of the heavens. So Rasta Bobby, if you can tell into a vertical, groundation point of view, how we can keep our physical structure again together with the herbs, as well as with the knowledge that you see we began with breathing, everything starts with the breath. So we'll go forward again to the Rasta man, Rasta Bobby, the herbal nutritionist.
Yes, greetings, my brothers and sisters. It's so good to be here sitting with some real honorable brothers and sisters of Rastafari. As they say, it's a thing that started in a yard with Howell and them years ago in Jamaica. So the inspiration came, and as we trod, and we evolved to a point when we realized the most important thing on the planet is to serve humanity. Eli, and so, as natural healers, we've come even at a special time, because at this time we give tribute to our great sister, our great friend, our great mama, our great matriarch, Sister Ijania. Raja was always close to her, and we give thanks for that. As Brother Haile would say, I see this woman all over the planet, and every time we see this woman all over the planet, she was doing Rastafari work. Rastafari. And as the shivers come through my mind, I remember the sister accommodating me, and for sure not only me, in her house, in her household, as we came along to do our healing work for Rastafari. She was always there, committed to this work. And as I think about it, I give thanks to all the great patriarchs and matriarchs of Rastafari, and all the great matriarchs and patriarchs of African spirituality on a whole, and all the great matriarchs and patriarchs of this great indigenous tribe. I tell the island, when I come again, it's the same way I want to come. I want to come as Rastafari. And our sister Ijania, for sure, was Rastafari, is Rastafari to the bone, because we know she's taken a place as an ancestor for Rastafari, for African unity, for African consciousness. Many people say she was the link between Africa and the diaspora. This woman was full of faith. I know that for sure. Because many a time she would make a trot. Wherever she went, she had no money in her pocket. But how did she reach? She reached because she had faith, my brothers and sisters. And this faith, this pinnacle, this wonderful woman, once I looked at her, I was speaking to her. I was with my brother Jelani. Special big up to the brothers from J, special big up to the brothers from sisters from GA to special big up to all the brothers and sisters all over America and the Caribbean and all over the world, because it's a special entity. What I was saying is that there was once I look at Sister Ijania and I say, Sister Ijania, you remind me of a divine hermaphrodite being. And she looked at me. And she looked at me as though she agreed with me. Because she wore many hats. This sister was representing CISPAN, and she was representing the Pan-African movement, and she was representing a family, and she was representing Anguilla, and she was representing St. Kitts, and she was representing the Caribbean Rastafari organization. In every single way she came. She even came here as a guru of Rastafari, with her drums, singing thanks and praises to His Majesty. Oh, what a wonderful Queen Omega she was. A real empress, an empress for real. An active woman who didn't sit back and expect people to do things for them. She didn't sit back and expect men to do anything for her. She could stand up on her own any and every time, and we want the sisters and them to recognize this as the way to go. Because it's a healing time, it's a nurturing time. And as we look forward to forward the information to you, the IDEM, we want you to know this is a time when the sisters, the empresses must rise and take their rightful place on the creation. And to encourage the brothers and them to come, because a lot of them staying back too much. And when you come, sisters, come forward alongside the king. Because that's the example this emperor gave us in 1930 when he became emperor of Ethiopia alongside his empress, which was a change from the whole tradition. So I want to say it's Corona time. There's a lot of information our other healers gonna give. I want to give thanks to Total ITAL for bringing this wonderful experience once again. Wanted to use the lemongrass, it's full of vitamin C. Wanted to use the sorrel, it's also full of vitamin C. They talk about Corona can't deal with no vitamin C. Wanted to do the sheep sorrel and the lemons and all the fruits and vegetables, the whole grains and the nut, the millet, the quinoa, the buckwheat. Remember, brothers and sisters, do your breathing exercises every single day while you forward your affirmations in the name of the Most High. Eli, Selassie, Eli, Selassie, Eli, Selassie, Jah Rastafari.
You're welcome to see out that intro.
Be a song. This is a song, but I co-write the song with the original writer, a good friend of mine named Rasta Irish. Maybe I will make it tune into this. But it's a song about our great mother Ethiopia, Queen Ethiopia, and it will be exemplified by our empresses here as they present their wisdom and knowledge to us all. But I want to share this song. Many a times before I've been asked where I come from. My people old and young, and then there are some who have to die when I say it's Africa, and I'm going back. So that's where I come from. I don't think they understand. I am not from Babylon. So check it out. Said if by chance you still don't know, nothing I say is I still gotta go. I think we're going back home to Ethiopia. Going home to you, Ethiopia. recall the days when I used to go to school and they taught us all like history. But I want you to see that the things I learned just was not enough for me, because I know that they're fooling a lot of children continually. Oh, I don't think they understand. No, I am not from this land. So if by chance you still don't know, don't think I've changed and I still gotta go. I tell you that we're going back home to you, Ethiopia. Home to the sweet, sweet land of Ethiopia. Yes, I'm coming home to you. The job foundation is in the holy mountain of Zion. Lord God, Jah Rastafari, love the gates of Zion, more than all the goodness of Jacob. Most glorious things have been spoken of thee, most Egyptian. See, I shall make mention of Rahab and Babylon, no, I was Philistine terror. Behold, Ethiopia, I say I born there. And of Zion shall be said, this and that man, this I, Rastaman, Rasta Empress, born and grow in Zion. But Jah shall come, ready to the people, I am the true. For the singers and players of instruments shall be here. All I swear to I
Selassie,
Jah
Rastafari. Amen. Majesty. Thanks.
Nayora,
Yes, sir.
running fireball. Yeah. Respect.
Accept it.
Stick around, more coming.
Now, accept it. So let's just move to chairs.
So what you were saying, the audio need for voice need to be loud.
Yeah, just speak a little louder.
Okay.
Take a look and tell me
No, it's not being charged. We're at 64%. I just want to make sure.
Take a look. Take a look. Take a look.
No.
No charge.
What's the link? I'm trying to
There's
get
a lot
it.
of things.
Okay, I added my own cable just to see what it is. But you do have extra. I guess it's simple.
And do you need a table?
I won't improvise what I got here. Lift up the thing I put in.
Take one look. Yeah, take that. No charge?
No.
It is.
Yes. So once again, here we are. Make sure the elder is in the frame. See? So give thanks, people, Give thanks and praise for life, health, and strength. So here we are again. Total ITAL Part 2 in a Caribbean Indigenous Healers Webinar. Caribbean Indigenous Healers Webinar. And once again, this is Priest Haile Israel, right? And I really respect, the priest, Ethiopian Orthodox priest, seeing EMT, right?
All right, yeah.
See? All right, so this is original teachings, motherland teachings, ancient teachings. And, when you talk about Melchizedek, Haile Israel is a great representation, true representation of the Melchizedek art. So moving forward, and once again, this is also a PhD. This brother is also a PhD in music, talking about doctor in music, performing artist, producer as well. So this is a great elder that holds many hats, very powerful elder, whom I respect greatly. And without further ado, this is Haile Israel presenting the importance of Queen Omega, Rastafari, Majesty.
Let's go. Naira. Well, that's a big up right there. But still, you know, I and I have to maintain who we are. We must never be ashamed of who we are. But we must first know who we are. And I've taken all my life to get to know myself. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself first. Because everything begins at the beginning. I come from my mother. People ask me where you come from. I come from my mother. Wherever she was when I born, that's where I come from. See, so to take out all things, I can tell you about my mother. The bona fide St. Lucian. And her mother was a bona fide St. Lucian. And they were known as negresses because when we first come to this country, we didn't know the language. And they described all of the female slaves as negresses. My grandmother's called her negress. Her name was Jean Berthelene Zongue. And through her come my mother, Brunella Violetta Zongue. And then I come, born in Panama, I ended up in America by the 60s, thinking I was a Black American. I never knew anything about my great deep African roots from West Indies until I began realizing that even amongst these Black people in America, I didn't feel comfortable. So I went on a journey, just like I'm sure everyone in their life, if they have any type of spiritual seed in their soul, they go on a journey. They want to know what is this thing they call God. We were speaking of that earlier. Who is this person God? Is he really a he or is he a she? With Dr. Ben, in his words, he said, my best reality of God is my mother, because that man come from a woman. There's a story about man being made in the earth by the dust of the ground. It sounds like genetic manipulation to me, but I'll go along with the written records, and I don't seem like a blast. But from where we come from is before Adam. Civilization came down the river Nile. I'm going to share some visuals because it's always good to have visuals. And from a 74,000 year history, 72,000 BC, I'm not mistaken, we have this documented in East Africa. India has at least 15,000 years documented, but it's just not recognized or honored by Europeans. So we take time in the English language to explain to you in the English language about African culture. And we use the English language to do this. We must be conscious that we're using the language of Anglo-Saxons, which is a combination of Eurocentric languages that have nothing to do with spirituality or divinity. Whereas every African language that I came in contact with has a lot of breath in it. It has a lot of spirit in it. Whereas the European languages are more guttural. You know, that caveman thing. And it's not being funny, it's being anthropologically correct. And as civilization came down the river Nile, the best piece of remembrance that we had in our earlier inventions is from about 37,000 BC, which is 39,000 years ago, was this thing called the mirror. And our ancestors always told us, don't care where you go, don't forget who you are, where you come. You see in the background, I might see flag and all kind of things, but in the foreground, I see me and I know where I come from. And these are some of the ancient languages, the ancient glyphics. This is Pele, which was where the tetragrammaton, what they call Yahweh, the four-letter word that moves creation, come from the glyphic of how when God come into this realm, light bends and then he comes to earth. This is what glyphics are all about. And if you understand some of the earlier glyphics and hieroglyphics, as well as just pictoglyphs, you'll see them all over the ancient Stone Age. And what we need to understand is the sons of Adam were given this gift of fire. Everybody knows about Adam and Eve, or Adam and Hawa being expelled from the garden, and the two fiery cherubim that kept them off. But those two fiery cherubim also kept communication with them. And they gave this thing called fire. And anthropologically and historically, this is where you see that the Stone Age came into the Bronze Age. And this is recorded in the book of Genesis with the genealogy of Adam. There's a man named Tubal-Cain, who was the first one to forge iron tools. So where did he get the fire from? So this is why we're going to tell you the other half that was never told. It's a black on black reality. This is maybe 4,000 years before the first European. And even Europe will tell you they come from Cro-Magnon man, Java man, Neanderthal man. We never evolved like that. As a matter of fact, we have devolved from our divine state into this physical human condition that is parallel to the man who is only evolving to our present physical human condition. And this is why we have such a conflict with a man whose language we are speaking, and we're trying to describe ourselves in his language. So that's why I take time and make we know it's English we're talking. So I speak Spanish or French, but they're still Eurocentric languages. And our languages are called Semitic or Hamitic, the African languages. They are based on a whole different alphabet. They go from right to left, we go from left to right. We're in the south, so the sun rises this way. They're in the north, so the sun rises that way. See, so it's a whole different thing. But yet, we have been enslaved by these people for 500 years. So now we've been acclimated and acculturated into their culture. But through the awakening of King Rastafari, we have come to this Solomonic knowledge and consciousness that, okay, there's no speech nor language where his voice is not heard. Read that in Psalm 19. So we can take this language and still manipulate it to suit us. That's why you hear us speaking our own language. Rasta elders in Jamaica came up with a song called Ivories. Aye, hip right, yeah, it's what I said. It's based on the high song. Saying ITAL is vital. So we have taken these languages of our captivity and still got a chance to overstand ourselves, not understand. And remember now, we're using the English language for our benefit. So understanding is very incomplete. And overstanding or understanding is a little bit more complete. Even using the same language. So this is a tool you might see. Ethiopian priests, they all have different patterns, but they're called maskal. And its purpose is to catch demons like spiders in a web. It is totally contrary to what they call cross. It has nothing to do with cross. Crosshairs on this thing that was invented by the European Smith and Wesson. You know, to murder and kill. They say Jesus, for lack of a worse word, was crucified on the cross. X marks the spot. They didn't look at nothing with God on the cross. So we ain't dealing with that, even though we use these because these are also Eurocentric symbols. They're supposed to be the symbol of a saint. Anybody die for Jesus, you become a saint. So but this is the European symbol, so we can identify ourselves through their symbols. Like we were speaking earlier. Some of our brethren and some of our conscious brethren are confused with this thing called the Kabbalah, because historically, a lot of us had only researched into the Spanish Kabbalah, which was manipulated by the Ashkenazi Jews. And we all think it's a Jewish mystical tradition, and it turns us away from it. But as we were speaking historically, the Spanish Kabbalah was translated by the Moors. And it was this guy named Moses de Leon. You can check me if you think I'm joking. In a place called Seyfield, Spain, in the 13th or 12th century. And he got the first Spanish Kabbalah. And then they translated it into other Eurocentric languages. But before that, it was an African reality of the 11 different worlds that you go through from the thought to the thing, how to manifest your thoughts into things. This is what Ma'at and Metaneta has taught us. And when it was manipulated, the Moors ended up giving it to the Europeans and they turned it into what they call a tree of life or whatever, tree of knowledge, something like that. And I've studied these things and I also know it's just like if you're reading, I don't know if everyone saw this movie called Life with Eddie Murphy. There was a scene in the movie where when the man was younger, this white man had him accused of life and murder. And he stole the man's watch. The only thing the man ever got from the father was his watch. So here we are 40, 50 years later, the man doing life in prison. And here's the same old jail guard. See what time it is. The man said, hey, that's my daddy's watch. And so even though it's the same watch. So it's like when we see certain things in the English language, boy, that sounds like my ancestors. It don't sound like no story. Moses going up into a mountain, up into a volcano, coming back with a written dog. There's a story in Hawaii about that. They have a story in Hawaii about a man named Nui who rode the rainbow with animals in it. And these are people that know nothing about the Bible. So there are certain things ancestrally the Africans have done as pioneers, as wayfarers, as Hebrew. That's what Hebrew means. Man who go out like an evangelist or an apostle. That's what the word Hebrew means. Ibaru. A man who carried this language, this great ancestor worship outside of Africa. Tried to share it with the world and beat him up and rob it and call it religion. So we come to tell the story right. Everybody should be familiar with this. There's a 1611 version of the King James Bible. This ain't the one most people have. This is the original 1611 King James edition. The one that created this letter J. I think it was a monk named Fermentus in the 15th century. It was translated the Iovia, which was the Iowia, the Ionai, put it, turned it to a J. See? And now here we are saying Jah, when it was originally Yah. And then look at his glyphics, because if you understand writing, here's a Y. two forces from the heavens coming down to earth. But look at our glyph for a pyramid, or the A. These two from the east to the west, going up, one God, one truth, one reality. So this is a basic, like a lesson in basic understanding, basic glyphics. Where it's come from up is up there. What comes from down is there. We've always had a one God concept. So whatever we do is going to come to one pinnacle in the heavens. Like there's one sun up there. But nighttime you have all kind of stars, and they're considered to be suns also. But we deal with the one sun, which is the Ra. We get from Rastafari, now you're Ra. And these different utterances that we know bring forth fire. You even have the Ra in there. Pyra is where the Greek word fire comes from. You have the Ra in there, said Aura. Hebrew word aura. You have this Ra. They come right straight to these 72,000 years I tell you about. Come from East Africa. As civilization come down the river Nile, we brought our tradition with us. We made sure if we had nothing else, we had our mirror. See? So we never forget where we come from. And that's also where written traditions began. We look at the mirror, and our parents gave us the name of our grandparents, who gave us the name of their great-grandparents. And you understand the Ethiopian language. Your first name is your grandfather's last name. And then as you can say one long name, and you just said your whole ancestors. See? So this is how we will remember our ancestors, by adding their name to our name. Haile Selassie, Felaya Haile. See? So that's how I deal with it. I'm Jason. His name, Haile Selassie, but his last name becomes my first name. Felaya Haile. My son might be called Yahshua Felaya. So I say the whole name, Haile Selassie, Felaya Yahshua. And I just said 4 generations. See? So this is the thing that they didn't want us to know in our Ethiopian language, how we had such a vivid oral tradition without writing things down. We had a very divine scientific way of remembering things because we got these things from our elders and our ancestors, not from a school, not from a stranger, from our grandparents and granduncles. This is what made the great Ethiopian and Abyssinian and Kemetan civilizations so wonderful because we were all family. We knew we were all family, we were all tribes. It's when man began to go outside of Africa into the regions where you meet people of different skin color, different hair texture, different eating habits. And we tried to share our tradition with them. And they would rather take something than we come to give them. That's been the story of our life. People want to take things that we want to give them. But we want to give everyone in the world love and information and knowledge about how to keep yourself in these times. Because we Rasta have been here from those times to these times for all times. And we will continue to be here through God's blessing because we have something for the world, which is love, peace, knowledge, wise mind, understanding, health, wealth, and not the material wealth that people talk about. When you're rich inside of yourself and you know that you're confident with everything, you don't fear not even death because you're higher than that. We've been there several times. You see the anchor amongst our people. That means we've been there several times. That's what that represents. The eternal ones, the trotter. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Give thanks and praise, Ella. Now, with this information, tell us about the power now of Queen Omega and the importance of Queen Omega.
Okay, honored to. And then right after that, we'll go for Queen Omega to show you herself. As I began saying, I come from my mother, my grandmother, my mother, the heritage that I really love. It's from the woman there in my culture, my family. My father's a Madagascar Indian from the island of Madagascar. He acclimated to the Blackfoot American Indian tribe. And he was a very secretive man. So I didn't know him as well as I wanted to know him, but I know my mother and my grandmother very, very well. And as I was saying earlier, the great Dr. Ben, his example of God has to be a woman. So we have to realize, even in the ancient reality of the geography of the planet, there's a whole other topic within itself. Flat Earth, people right away say you're an idiot, you still think the Earth flat. Well, there's been some great lies told in history. Like they say Yahshua was a white man named Jesus. That's a pretty big lie. So I believe these same people have told us that what we can see that stretch out flat is actually wrong. And to give Empress Nuit, the great queen, black mother of the universe, credit for her giving birth to everything that we see and a lot of things that we don't see. All of the ancients saw a woman. on her hands and her feet, bowing over what became the earth. It was one of her children. See? And from this concept, we get the idea of the geography of the planet that we live on. See? So we are on a flat plane, stretch out broad, it has corners, because I don't think a ball has corners, but they've always spoken of the four corners of the earth. Land has corners, you have ends of the earth. Not an end to a ball or a circle, it's infinite. So we have to really, like we say, analyze this language that we are trying to communicate in and see what they were really saying. Is it a lie or is it truth or is it some kind of secretive? Because we know they have codex in this language also. Give you an example. The hex codex, if you go from A to Z, you just add 6. A is 6, B is 12. You go right straight down to Z, and you write out a word like computer, or Kissinger, or Christos, and you will get 666. I challenge anyone to do this. A6, B12, C18, and go right down to Z. And you can figure out the number of certain names, just like the book of Revelation says, he that has wisdom, let them figure out the number of this name. The Carus Helidea in Latin is on the Pope said it equals 666 in Latin, Roman numeral. So this is the wise man that King Solomon showed us to our Lord and Savior and Pride Selassie and the throne of David. So this is why we have to talk about now Queen Omega. In 1930, at this great coronation, when they crowned this man King of Kings and Lord of Lords, conquering land of the tribe of Judah, 225th descendant of King Solomon and Sheba, 134th Christian king, 314th King of Kings of Ethiopia, Madame Alam, Savior of the world, Light of the world, Burhan Alam. He said, hold on, what about my wife? He said, what happened to Queen Omega? So for the first time in history, they had to give Queen Omega a slight, they say it was a little lesser coronation, but yet and still, the king said, watch them, man. The balance of creation is Alpha and Omega. We read that in the book of Revelations. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning without end. And Haile Selassie showed us that in his physical life here on earth to fulfill every biblical prophecy. And we will take our time and explain this to the world through reggae music, through experiences, through the Nyabingi and the Bobo Shanti priesthoods, through the creation conscious Rastaman, the Yaba Dread, the 12 tribes. You have a lot of people on planet Earth who have seen the vision of who Haile Selassie is. He's a chapel, Lord of Lords and King of Kings. And chapel, by the way, is feminine. Our Lady Zion is the womb that held the Ark of the Covenant, as well as the womb that held Christ. So we cannot neglect woman. Once again, I'm not blaming the European, but the fact that we have been totally indoctrinated by his ways, he is a very male chauvinistic man. And we as African people, even from slavery down, we treat our children the way the slave master treated us. And we're very rude and harsh with our children. And it's a shame. I go to Ethiopia and see they don't spank their children. They don't raise the voice of the children. And it makes a big difference. But we only did what we learned. See? But Queen Omega's always had this tender love for us. See? So we have to honor her. And even in our male chauvinistic mental ideology, we have to bow a little bit and let Mama Africa speak. Because we may not push up our Haile Selassie said we've taken 6,000 years to prove our utter incapability of governing ourselves. So it must be Omega time, Aquarius time. So yes, Queen Omega is very important. And to prove that, we're going to have some Queen Omega come tell you about the womb, the outer muscle structure, the entire liberty, and then priest Speedy will seal it up with the chlorophyll vibration. So and I give thanks for the identification to listen to I talk all this time. I hope you get something from it. It is a question and answer session ever possible. If anyone ever want to question me, I pray that I'll give you the answer for you. I'll be welcome. So, and I give thanks once again. Let the words of my mouth, meditation of my heart be accepted in thy sight, O Jah. Hallelujah.
Jah, Rastafari. Blessed. Give thanks. Yes. Aye. So yes, royal people of the earth, you know, that was highly Israel. We'll take a quick intermission, 3-minute intermission, and then we shall move into Empress Aisha Boyd, and she'll be talking about the importance of the movement of the spine in regards to health. So give thanks.
Yes.
Thanks to life, majesty, the first. Yeah, man.
That's tough.
Majesty. So let's go on a little bit.
See, play some music. Yeah.
Everything you do, you want to calculate the consequences of that action. When you rise up in the morning, you must meditate. Think like doing the best. Confusion, living in their own words, let them disillusion. Limiting yourself when there's several options. Using 5% of your intellect function. Think before you act, but don't act and think after. Stupid is someone that causes poor disaster. Often irrational, realistic. Or you will have to face the judgment of the mistake. In everything you do, you have to calculate the consequences of that action. When you're born Babylon, when you rise up in the morning, you must meditate and think of doing the best that you can. To win the game, you must analyze.
Good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Aisha, and we're talking about the dynamic movement of the spine this evening. So when we talk about dynamic movement, we're using exercises that will help create space and flexibility in all areas, in all ways that we move. So first, let's talk about our environment for a little bit. I'm not sure if you can see it from there, but we have some candles lit in the background. We have a nice soft environment. We have some nice lavender oil burning, some soft light, some loose clothing. Might be easy to stand up for this part. A little bit of music going on, a little bit of soft music as well. Let's see, let's get the camera. Okay, maybe I should stand back a little bit. A little bit better. So when we're practicing, it's always great to practice in full sunshine if we can. A patio or a balcony, a small space. But sometimes if we're practicing inside, we need to find a quiet space, even if it's just a corner that's uncluttered, where we won't be disturbed. We turn off our phones and our ringers, put our children out of the room, and just take a few minutes to recenter and reconnect. So as we go through some simple poses that you can use using a chair, a yoga mat, we even have a yoga ball there. You want to make sure that you listen to your body the entire time. Even a little bit of movement will help with our flexibility. Okay? So let's just jump right into a few exercises. Oh, and also make sure that you have some water. Alkaline water or spring water is best to keep yourself hydrated. And the first set of exercises is what most people commonly know as cat and cow. So why don't we start on the floor? Let's see if we can see that from here. You'll just come into a tabletop position. Your hands are under your shoulders. Your knees are under your feet. And the first is you tuck your chin into your chest, round your shoulders. That's our cat. So we have lengthening and stretching right through here. And then we breathe in. Or cow, where we open our chest and to our tail. Now, all of these exercises, you want to make sure that you're breathing with your movements. If the floor is too much to come down to, maybe you can use your chair. Cat. Looking up gives you a little stretch in different parts of your back, and then arching your spine. Let's say you just have a few minutes. You can start from standing, holding your knees, curl in for cat. Exhale. And then even if you're sitting at your desk, just take a few minutes, grab your knees, round your shoulders. So each one of these, I'm just showing you some quick, different ways that you can do this stretch, but you want to make sure that you're doing a few repetitions, at least 3 to 5 at a time, and you're doing them slowly, synchronizing them with your breath. Okay. So our next set of exercises, spinal rolls, my absolute favorite. So you can start with your legs hip width apart, maybe a little bit wider, so you can decide. And touching your toes, if you can make it down that far. If you can't, your knees are fine. Or holding your elbows to give you a little bit of weight. We want to take a few breaths here, and then we'll roll up slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae. With this exercise, you get no prizes for finishing first. Slowest move of the day. So, if this is too much to come down, or this is too much, maybe it's too much on your lower back or your hamstrings, you can also use a chair as well. So, and then coming up. Or if you have a chair or your yoga ball, you can have a seat. Chest to your thighs. And roll up. Or maybe you start with your knees. And roll up. So don't feel like you have to have a lot of equipment or a lot of time or a lot of space. Whether you are a very flexible person or you have just a little bit of mobility issues, you can do just even a little bit will help with your spine. Side body stretches. So we're standing. Take this opportunity to inhale and really lengthen your spine. Lengthen up. And then we can do some side body stretches. Exercising our spine from left to right. I feel like you all are joining me for my own stretching session, so be patient with me. So if this is too far, maybe you can use your chair. Grab either side, grab the back, let your side hang here. Or you can use the back of your chair. If that's too far, then come this way. Making sure that you, again, monitor your resistance. And do what looks good for your body. Next, we have gyrations. So, actually, we need to call this one stirring the pot. So imagine that we have, this is called total ITAL. So this is our total ITAL pot, and we're going to stir the pot. Making sure that we get all the good ingredients from all sides of the pot, nice and bubbling. And then we're going to switch directions. Really take your time so that you feel the stretch. You can also do the same thing in our chair or our yoga ball. The pot is now between our legs, and we can stir that pot. Hopefully you're trying a few of these with me. Really just take just a few seconds to reset the body. How are we doing so far, everyone? Got some good ideas? Yes? Okay, so hip circles, these are fun in a lot of ways. So from standing, hands on your hips. Just do some light circles. Loosens up the back, the hip muscles. And then we switch. Slower the better. If you have some good music on, we can do some hip isolations. Making sure we go in each direction. The slower the better. If someone walks in on you, just tell them you're exercising. That's all. Go back to doing what they're doing. Make sure we go in both directions, slower and faster. Also from our exercise ball, as we're watching TV or maybe we're sitting on the computer, we can just go in circles. We have a little bit more support. And of course, we're taking our time and breathing. Spinal twist, spinal twist. So, this one is very easy. We've talked about left and right, forward and backwards, but now we can do a little bit of a twist. So nothing too strenuous. We're just turning our hips from side to side, loosening up our lower back, our mid back. You can also use a scarf or a t-shirt or a towel, whatever you have nearby. Do some stretches overhead, some twists overhead. Breathing in, when you expand. Breathing out, leaving. Now, if we're sitting in our chair, maybe we can move just our neck simply. So, if you don't have much mobility, just a simple twist in your neck will help to reduce any stress and slow it down. If this is too much, you can also draw circles with your nose. Make sure you go in both directions. You have your neck. Let's say you can only do a little bit. Move to your knee. To your left, to your right. Maybe you can go a little bit further and go to the side of your chair or your exercise ball. Or if you have your chair, you can use the back of your chair to pull yourself all the way around and get a nice deep stretch. So the key thing here is to listen to your body. Some are more flexible than others. Sometimes you're more flexible in the beginning and the end of your workout than you are at the beginning of your workout. Sometimes you're more flexible at the end of your week than at the beginning of your week. Sometimes you're more flexible Tuesday, less flexible on Wednesday. So take your time, monitor your resistance, even just a little bit of stretching. And this is a lot of stress from the day. So, core muscles. So we talk a lot about our spine, but the thing that's helping control our spine is also our core muscles. So the stronger and the more exercises we can do here, the better we're able to help our back as well. So let's see what the best is here. So from here, we're doing our exercise ball, making sure that we're nice and stable. We're going to walk our feet forward, letting the ball support us. Bringing our arms overhead. We can deepen the stretch by going a little bit forward. come back so we have a little bit more support. From here, we can also bring our hands to our abdomen and do some nice crunches. Before we come all the way back up. Now let's say you don't have an exercise ball, maybe you just have your chair. Come to the edge of your chair, and walk a little bit to the muscles. And you can do crunches from here, or you can do twists from here. So, that gives you a few exercises to work with your spine. Remember, before our movement in space, it helps to align and keep our organs in place. So the more space we have in our spine, the more efficiently our organs are able to work to rid toxins. Our immune system is boosted. We also can sleep better, feel good about our day, improve our mood, all of those kind of things. It's easy to get disconnected every day with the news and with sitting at our desk, maybe hunched over our tablets or our computers. It's easy to disconnect when we get frustrated, angry, we find our breathing becomes shallow. But as we lengthen our spine, we create space for the organs and the lungs, and we can even breathe easier and deeper. Again, connecting us with the Most High. So after you finish your exercise, make sure that you stop and center yourself. Take a few deep breaths here. Maybe close your eyes and release any tension that's left, starting from the head to the feet. Visualize each part of your body relaxing. If there's any tension left from the day or from your exercise, let it go. Visualize how you want your day to go if you're doing this in the beginning of the day, or what your next segment of the day will be if you have to do this in the middle of the day or if you're at work. And then, of course, practice frequently. So these are stretches that you can do in the morning before you start your day, again in the middle of the day, or even before you go to bed in the evening. So do them frequently, do them often. The more flexible you'll become, the younger you will feel. And that's it. Thank you for watching.
Who's next?
Yes. Thank you very much for listening. Soon we're gonna have somebody else, so we don't want you to go anywhere. So nice to be here among such beautiful people here in this Virgin Islands. Want you to know, Speedy Redemption is part of the ITAL, the total ITAL. And Nayora is part of the total ITAL pot. And Ras Bobby is part of the total ITAL pot. And Haile Israel is part of the total ITAL pot. And good night, Sister Dara. We know you're part of the ITAL pot. So, my sister Rima and Ambassador 7, we know you're part of the ITAL pot. All for Africa. All for unity, as the shamans and them have to come to unite the nation. Rastafari is the shamans of the planet, and we know it. And that is why we come forward. And Naira.
Yes, give thanks, to the entire planet. Give thanks to the world. Give thanks to the Virgin Islands community. Give thanks and praise to our brothers and sisters here, tuning in. We are happy that you have come forward, because this is the kind of information that will keep the people inspired during this critical time when there is a so-called coronavirus and so on and so forth. We are still finding the time to create something positive for you all to look forward to. And also, this has nothing to do with any fear-based agenda. This is actually this is Rastafari time. We are comfortable in this time because we have warned the people about these times. We have told the people about this time, and we are confident that we shall move through this time very easily. Seeing, we love the Creator. We love the Almighty Creator. You know, we love all the divine gifts given to us from the Creator, and all our blessings, all our hardships have brought us to this point in time where Africans are gathering. Because, like His Majesty said, when Africa comes together, the whole earth will come together. Give thanks to the nations that have been united in Africa, same way. Give thanks to all the conscious ones in the motherland, and so on and so forth. So we're picking up the entire globe of consciousness at this time. And as we move forward, once again, we give thanks for, the divine priests, Brother Haile Israel. Give thanks and praise to Sister Aisha as well, for presenting such a beautiful information for those of you, especially at home, that have been sitting down a lot, that can stretch, to activate, the nerve center of your body so that your immunity and health can be sustained at this time. So our next presenter is a brother that is honorable priest and member of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress, right? Is a certified medical assistant and nutritionist, and has a product called chlorophyll, right? In which he has been in this business for the last 17 years, manufacturing and distributing chlorophyll locally and internationally, and has a company that is called Juice for Healing. And I know this brethren for many years, even in junior high school till now, in the Rastafari trad, and really is a divine angel, a very humble brethren, a very loving brethren, and a brethren that I feel has some critical information about the benefits of chlorophyll for the people. So at this time, I would like to introduce to the earth, to the nation, Brother Just Speedy, Prophet Speedy. Give thanks and praise. Rastafari, His Majesty. Yeah, man. Humbly. Yes, sir.
So give thanks once again, to everyone still. Give thanks, for even being here, amongst the gods and the goddesses. First of all, man say the beginning and ending of everything, we must begin with prayer. So, now that's like a good psalm still, Behold, how good and pleasant it is for brethren and sisters to dwell in perfect love and unity. Let the precious oil upon the head or run on the bed, even Aaron's bed. I went unto the skirts of his garments, as the dew of Hermon, as the dew that descended upon the mountain of Zion. That's what the Lord God, the Rastafari, commanded blessing, even life forevermore. Life for the righteous and death for the wicked in this last time. Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Let's love to one another. We do give thanks, once again. Give thanks, for even our Trinity, Prophet, Priest, and King. Give thanks, for the man say we have to exalt our gods and goddesses, First of all, the man say even in commandment they talk about honoring the mother and father, So the man say we have to honor our spiritual mother and father first, and then honor our physical mother and father as well. Because the spiritual mother and father is who imputed the spirit in our physical mother and father to get I and I. So we give thanks, Alpha and Omega, I, Selassie, I, Jah, Rastafari. Yeah, so my name is Honorable Prophet Speedy. I'm a member of the EABIC, the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress Church of True Divine Salvation. Formerly at 54B Spanish Town Road, now situated at 10 miles Gold Bay, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Everyone know, I and I as Bobo Shanti said, this is, the name, of I and I still. And even Bobo mean, black saying too, which I'm saying. Because even in 1957, when Ghana gained its independence, the Black 5-point star was even risen, And how the same said man in Jamaica, which is the Black race King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, even raised the banner saying too, fulfilling prophecy and history. So we give thanks, for even this culture, this tradition, Rastafari, and the man say head creator, help. So we give thanks for our indigenous culture, African tradition. Most High, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Just love to everyone. Yeah, so now, I have usually what I do, I give a demonstration, but since we're alive, I would just like to give disseminate information, give a presentation as well, and get some information pertaining to chlorophyll, different foods or different herbs that we can take, in this time of, as they say, pandemic, not to stress on it too much. We can understand prophecy and history, and these things, So it's like what I realize when the media disseminate information, notice that they don't tell you about the preventive measures. You see what I'm saying? Meaning that they have certain specific foods that will actually prevent you from even acquiring certain viruses and so forth. I even read in this medical book, it's a medical book that you don't usually see on the shelf and so forth. And the specific thing that the medical book said when it comes to any pathogens, the pathogens in the atmosphere, which is the viruses, they say the thing that actually kills it, or disseminate it, or devour it, is sunlight. Vitamin D. You see what I'm saying? So vitamin D actually helps build up your immune system as well. So now we see this. Let's see the psychological part of it now. So why is it? The question. But once to answer the question for itself. Question is that why is it that when the United States or whoever disseminating information will tell you to stay inside. Stay inside, don't come outside, social distancing, all of these things. And now we see it on a more different level than how maybe other people might see it. Because they have levels of consciousness, especially once you're conscious in understanding the ways of men. You see what I'm saying? Now remember, they have ones who sit in the Father Moses seat. Father Moses seat meaning the ones in high positions, so-called high positions and so forth. As even the scripture show you say that we ain't come to fight flesh and blood, but spiritual wickedness in high and low places. You see what I'm saying? And even in the book of Revelation, even talk about these things as well. You see what I'm saying? So now for the conscious people or Rastafari, they will understand this is something what been coming. You see what I'm saying? This is something what we were expecting, a matter of fact. You know what I mean? But now come to understand now, we're like, wow, it manifests in our time. This is something here. So now how we gonna deal with it? So the way how we always been dealing with it, being conscious of it and being very cautious and wise in the midst of it as well. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just here to just disseminate information, not to reinvent the wheel, just giving information pertaining to chlorophyll and so forth, and certain foods that what can help you in this so-called pandemic. So the question is, what is chlorophyll? So chlorophyll actually is a green pigment present in all green plants in cyanobacteria responsible for the absorption of light to provide energy for photosynthesis. Its molecule contains the magnesium held in a porphyrin ring. So now it's saying that chlorophyll is the green aspect of the plants. So photosynthesis is what actually give the plants food from the sunlight, because the sunlight actually has blue and green, if I'm not mistaken, the spectrum. And when it comes off or it hits off of the plant or the leaf, it changes the color into green, so it reflects in that aspect, so that's where the green pigmentation comes from. And also, chlorophyll is actually good for cell development. So when you drink chlorophyll now, and I'm speaking about not just drinking chlorophyll, but eating chlorophyll. So we have vegetables, you can still take the vegetables and eat it. And also you could, blend, your green leafy vegetables and so forth into a liquid, and it will, go in your bloodstream very quicker than the physical aspect of it. So cell development is good for cell development. Chlorophyll contains magnesium, calcium, and iron. So At times in my presentation, I usually ask questions, to one, so it will actually be part of the, the reason as well, because each one teach one still. But since this is live, so I'll just kind of keep it, for the information aspect. So those minerals make up the building block of the human body or goody, as we say as Rastafari, goody. Kind of body is not bad, it's good. So magnesium, a mineral that the goody needs for normal muscles, nerves, and bones. Iron, a mineral that is necessary for the transport of oxygen via hemoglobin in red blood cells. Potassium supports blood pressure, cardiovascular health, bone strength, and muscle strength. So these are the components, or the minerals that chlorophyll actually has in, the cell for cell development. Because the cells is actually, what makes up the whole entire human body. So everything, muscles, blood, when it comes to anything, within the human body, it actually has cells. Also, the chlorophyll has the same similarity as hemoglobin. The similarities between hemoglobin and chlorophyll, whichly it has the same molecular structure, but the only thing which is different is that chlorophyll has in magnesium and the hemoglobin has in iron. Apologies. So it still has the same. So that's why when you see Asar, Asar sitting on the throne, they call it the green god. You see what I'm saying? So no, that's not just saying that he's actually green. It's actually melanin. You see what I'm saying? Because remember, blood is something just as chlorophyll. So now that's a representation or symbolic onto the melanin that he has in him, protruding from him in that aspect through his skin pigmentation. So that's why when you see Asar, he's green. They call him the green god. Also, the human needs carbon. We're a carbon-based people. Carbon is known as the most essential element for life, and it's the second most abundant after oxygen in the human body. So as we were reasoning a little earlier, Rasbabi even shined a light and said that in the day between 10 to 2, if I'm mistaken, that the pituitary gland secretes serotonin, and then in the night from 10 to 2, the pineal gland secretes melanin. You know what I mean? So that's why we don't call them dreams, we don't call them vision. You see what I'm saying? In other words, astral projected. You see what I'm saying? So this is what we usually do. We don't call it dreams, we don't call it vision. So in all actuality, the physical is what covers the spiritual. You see what I'm saying? I heard one time a rapper, he said that the dream, that sleep is, he said sleep is kind of getting you ready for death. You see what I'm saying? But no, he didn't say death per se, like dying. Just getting you ready to enter into that spiritual world, to transition into that spiritual world. So that's why when we rest, we actually have visions. You know what I mean? Sometimes when we're walking on the road, we might see someone and we haven't seen them for a moment, but then yet so we meditate on them and we recite them. You see what I'm saying? So these are things why we have this natural powers, this natural energies that we have as melanated people. So man, we give thanks, because it's very important in this time for us to keep up on our nutrition and our minerals and our health. One thing I would say is to always observe your surroundings, because as a herbalist told me before, at one time he said, anytime you have specific herbs around you, that's the specific herb for the illness that you have. You see what I'm saying? So I say that's a mystic thing, because John knows exactly what we need, to nourish and to sustain ourselves. But if you don't seek, find. That's the thing right there. So as the saying goes, in abundance of water, the fool is thirsty. You know, we're in abundance of herbs here in the Caribbean. So why are we getting sick? That's the question. You see what I'm saying? So now, is it the lack of education or the lack of just paying attention? You see what I'm saying? Because it has something called ignorance and foolish. Ignorance is not foolish, and foolish is not ignorant. Ignorance is just, you're just not, you know what I mean? You don't see the factual aspect of it. You know, that's ignorant. You don't see it. And foolish is just plain not dealing with things properly and just being loose with yourself, you know, in that aspect. You know, so we have a herb, as everybody know, which is called cat's claw. You know, cat's claw within itself, it's all over St. Thomas. I mean, you can find it anywhere in St. Thomas. It usually grows on fences and different places. So the cat's claw, actually, it has two different species I actually saw, and not even discovered, but I saw it has a species that lives in the Amazon here in St. Thomas, and it also has the regular species, which is the running one. And when the way how you will notice or identify the cat's claw is that they have 3 prongs on it, and then the one that is from Central America or the Amazon, that one has like spikes on it. But if you look at the leaves are similar, and if you take, like, if you just like bruise the leaves a little bit and smell it, it has the same scent. So that's how we notice or realize that they were the same plant and any but different species, you know. And that's good for building your immune system. You know, a tea of that every single day builds your immune system. Also, we have vervain worry wine, you know, here on the island, all over. You know, just like as dandelion grow in the States, wild, as they call it, weeds and all of these things. And then we have vervain that grows all over. So some people look at it as weeds, you know, but vervain is very nutritious. You see what I'm saying? Especially the purple vervain is good for high blood pressure as well. And even it curbs your appetite. If you even eat vervain after eating it, it curbs your appetite as well. You see what I'm saying? You know, so these are some of the herbs that are indigenously grown here on the island. Also, we always stress, you know, the alkaline, live it. We don't say diet. You know, we say live it. You know, we want to live, we don't want to die. You know, so we more stress the alkaline, live it. And we always have to give, I would say, credit and respect and honor to our ancestor, Dr. Sebi, you know what I mean, who come forward and show us the indigenous way of eating, you know what I mean, and showed us the, as we call it, the biochemistry, or, you know what I mean, the biochemistry, live it in that aspect, you know what I mean. So he come and show us how simple it is. It's not to complicate yourself and try to go to someone to find out exactly what is there for and this and this. You know, he'd show us, listen, once you eat the foods that are indigenous to yourself, you wouldn't have a problem. You know what I mean? So we give thanks, you know, once again. Give thanks, you know, for the listening ear. Give thanks, you know, for, you know, even this platform, you know. And the man say, you know, ITAL is vital. You know, give thanks, you know, for even Nayora, you know, even bringing forward this platform, because it's very important in this time, because if you don't know how, if you don't disseminate information, and one thing I would just say, you know, I have the record, ego is something that we have to be very careful of. Just as His Majesty trod earth, you see what I'm saying? King Emmanuel trod forward as well. Marcus Garvey trod forward. These specific individuals, you know what I mean, gave us a blueprint or black print to follow. Now, it's not to take away, it's to add. You see what I'm saying? And build upon. You see what I'm saying? Because everything already done set. So it's not to reinvent the wheel, but to build upon these things. So once we build upon them, we will know exactly where our future lies. You know, so give thanks, you know, once again, you know, for the listening ear, and give thanks, you know, for, you know, the platform once again, you know. Give thanks. Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Bless the love to everyone. Give thanks. Bless the love. My Lord.
It's actually generally
Yes, hi folks, nice to be here. I hope you're just sitting down and just taking in the information because we're not here for notoriety, brothers and sisters. We're here to share crucial information in this time. They say there is a coronavirus, some people say it's a conspiracy. Fire burn coronavirus, but we have to burn the fire on it and so that we get to know what to do in a condition like that. So the brother talking about chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is alkaline, and that means when you drink that herb juice, you're removing mucus from the body. Naturally, you have a little mucus, maybe to chop a little dust or something like that, but too much mucus is disease. So as the Rasta man tell us from long time, as the Rasta woman tell us from long time, clean the colon at the same time. Too much waste in your body is a problem. So as Rasta, we know all the herbs, we know the aloes, we know the cascara sagrada, we know the campesina. It's a herb that looks like a tamarind. In St. Thomas, we call it wild talmon. It's a seed under the leaf. It's very bitter. It's one of the antiviral agents that we have used for a long time. But even if you use antiviral agents and your colon is full of waste, my brothers and sisters, then you're still in problems because from a long time, Sebi show us, Dr. Arnold Ehret show us, Dr. Lila Africa show us, that the cause of the disease is the condition of the colon. We like starch too much. You have to put fire, burn fire on the white flour, the white sugar, the white rice, the canned foods, the fried foods, all the peanut butter with the big fat in it. Now we stay away from these foods because these are the foods that cause the problem, brothers and sisters out there. We've been trotting a long time. We've been evolving into higher beings. So the higher beings, the state of being higher requires us to use higher foods. The millet from Ethiopia, the quinoa, the buckwheat, the flax seeds, these herbs, these foods are alkaline foods. They don't promote mucus in the body. But every 3-4 months, clean out the colon. They're talking about viruses, mucus they're talking about. So clean out the colon, use alkaline foods, maybe 80% alkaline foods. Stay away from that flesh, that blood, and that starch. Be strong. It's time to be courageous. It's not time to worry too much about food. It's time to fast and it's time to pray. And it's time to declare that we heal. Our mouth is our prophecy, brothers and sisters. Wake up and smell the coffee, smell the vervain, smell the lemongrass, the Irish moss. Them things strengthen the immune system. Use a lot of mushrooms. They're full of vitamin D. Imagine black people saying that they don't have enough vitamin D. So mushrooms. But cleaning, I came right now, but just to remind the people, it never changed, Jah never changed. It's important to clean the colon, clean the blood, clean your liver, clean your kidney. So just a few words again. Lemongrass, sorrel, sheep sorrel, campesina, neem bush. You boil the water and steep them, brothers and sisters. You can put some neem and some man, better man, in that same chlorophyll drink that you would make with kale and spinach and moringa, with a little ginger. I tell you, brothers and sisters out there, it's the bush juice, live foods that we need here right now. No virus can live in the alkaline body, brothers and sisters. Hail the eye. Hail the eye. Hail the eye. Sure.
Yes, blessed love again. This is Nayora again. Give thanks to those of you tuning in, going through the process of enjoying this fantastic information that has been given by the elders and even those after the elders. But we know that all is one, you know. Via hydrogen, we all link throughout the earth. You know, Dr. Oyibo, which is a doctor, a Nigerian doctor, right, who also won a prize for basically solving mathematically as well. There's a mathematical equation for this, but solving the equation of relativity, where is capital G-I-J, comma J equals 0. Okay, many of you mathematicians that actually know this equation, you know the power of this equation. So this conscious educational forum is being spoken from this perspective. We understand who we are as Africans. You know, we are embracing our African power. We are embracing our divine power, our Ethiopian power, our rightness, you know. And this is why we come together, because we know as Rastafari, we are the ones needed in this time to bring forward the indigenous knowledge and the remembrance of a divine time in creation, where we were at the pinnacle. And those, I wouldn't even call it a past thing, because it's also a present thing. There are many ones that know themselves, that are living a great life, because sometimes they make us feel as though this is just only one human being can attain this, you know. And this, our school of thought is not from that school. We know ourselves, and we know that it's a journey, and it's a beautiful journey, but we will attain the maximum potential that we can attain in the flesh. So we are striving. This is just because Africans have to come together. You know, His Majesty said that we have to live like the ants. Anyway, so we move along because we recognize the power of the womb, the woman, right? Or the empress, the goddess, the divine feminine. And this part 2, I'm excited for this, because this part 2 is a special part 2, because we're showing the balance, right, of the man and the woman, the emperor and the empress, king and queen. See? So this sister here that I'm about to introduce is very critical. She's a very critical scribe. Okay, she knows her position. She understands that she is needed within the community in terms of disseminating critical information and also recording it. So she's our walking library, I should say, but I'm not sure she wants that title, but I'm just saying. You know, she is very you know, organized in terms of the way that she does it as well. She thrives within communication technology, and she's a media specialist, communication technology and media specialist. She's the owner of Conch Shell Media, right? 20 years in the biz, right? And that name, you know, has changed from Kwanzaa 365, many of you know, her organization, and Dira Creations as well. She's a communications professor at UVI faculty for the year of 2020. She's also the founding director of Sankofa Saturdays. And her presentation will be Healthy Technology Use for Safety and Sanity. Healthy Technology Use for Safety and Sanity. I want to introduce to the world, to the nation, someone who's been behind the scenes for us, but is now stepping front to bring forth this positive energy. Sister Dara Munifa Cooper. Dara Munifa Cooper. Give thanks to you.
So, as our tradition goes, this is not a one-woman show. So I will ask for a little bit of feedback and energy from you all when it's come time, and just shout out the answers, okay? How many of you know how much technology you use, like on a daily basis? If you could say how many hours you on a screen, whether it's your phone or your tablet or your computer or your TV. Take a guess. 10 hours?
Yeah.
24.
No, man, not 24. 8? At least 3. And sometimes it's hard to think about it in that way, right? Because it seems like a lot of hours. Like, how many hours are you awake a day? If you could think of it, let's break it down. How many hours are you awake?
Yeah.
About 16?
Yeah.
Okay, so you said 16, but you said 10 for technology use, right? And you said how many? About 16, but how many? About 3? Okay, you a little healthier. But the point is, we're using it. We know we're using it. And there are reasons that we have to use it, whether it's for work, for school, social interaction, entertainment, so on, right? There's reasons that we make effective use of it. I won't say need, but we make, because we used to do these things without technology, right? So let me ask the other question. What is technology? Give me some things that you consider being technology.
Anything that makes work more efficient or easier.
Anything that makes work more efficient or easier. So now give me some examples of that. Thank you for that. Yes. So what do we use for faster communication?
5G.
Is it?
5G.
5G. We ain't going with it. That's a whole other conversation, but it's related.
It's
Mobile
like
devices.
I've seen that they have this robot flipping burgers now.
Devices,
Right,
robots.
because
Would you consider a car technology?
sure,
Yeah, it has
Refrigerator?
components. Yeah.
Microwave.
A stove? We want that. A stove?
Yeah.
Fridge.
A fridge, yes. Fans? Yeah. What else? Alarm clock?
Yeah.
So you know now we usually
AC.
use some of
even
us.
toilets and all this.
Some of us use alarm clocks, not all of us.
Right.
Some of us naturally, once
Yeah.
we sleep enough and all of that, our body does what it's supposed to and it wakes us up when we're supposed to, right? All right. So I'm speaking about healthy technology use for our safety collectively and sanity, individually and collectively. Because my job is to use technology all the time, to research it, to learn how to use it, to teach other people how to use it so that they can be more effective and efficient in whatever it is their job is that they have to do. But the first thing I teach when I'm teaching those classes is that we're not supposed to live on this. This is not supposed to rule how we live every day. And I use it more than most people. But I'm telling you, because of what has affected me over the years, I have had to go to chlorophyll. I have had to go to chiropractic and different types of things like that. I've had to go to nutrition to help to bring me back from certain things that technology has done to me in terms of affecting my biorhythm to the point where I was wearing a heart monitor at one point. Because it can change your rhythm. Everything is frequency, everything is energy, everything is vibration, right? I'm a very highly sensitive being when it comes to energy. So, and I'm also an empath. So I will walk into a room and leave with somebody else's pain. I don't know what it is. So when it comes to technology, I'm even more sensitive. I have to use the clear quartz. I have to use the black tourmaline. I have to use all of these different things. Have to stay hydrated. All of the things that you're learning from everyone else that has spoken for this ITAL, total ITAL webinar, from the first one, the second one, and the ones to come, are what I've had to use in dealing with this technology. Now, with this current situation that we have going on, whether it's like the computers, your transportation, your cars, because we used to shovel exit, and now we're doing other things, right? We used to canoe it from landmass to landmass, and now we're in iron birds and all sorts of other things, right? So I'll ask this question: is technology bad?
Can be.
Should be used for the benefit of humanity. But
We usually try not to ask yes or no questions, but this time I'm gonna ask you a yes or no question, and I want everybody to answer at the same time. Is technology bad?
Can be, yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we have some no, we have some yes, we have some can be. I'm gonna give you the answer. Technology itself is not bad. We abuse it. Our abuse of anything, too much water can hurt you, right? Our abuse of it can be bad. Remember, technology isn't only this. You know? Technology is a telephone that we used to call each other, not these things that we have now. These things are computers. I'm talking about the old telephone that we grew up on. That's technology too. We ain't doing smoke signals anymore, although I would love to do that. I would love to learn, right? So first, I need to kind of get that clear. It's not technology that's the problem. It's how human beings are using and misusing it that is causing the diseases of ourselves, whether they're major, minor, whatever. All right, so let's get that out of the way. So we don't dislike technology per se. It's meant to be helpful, but we're supposed to use it. Again, first week of class, this is what I teach. This and all the other things that I'm going to teach you to use for the purpose of whatever it is your job is, getting it done faster and more efficiently so that you can put it down and go back to the beach and go back to your family and your friends and go back to nature, go back to your meditations and your prayer and everything else that we're supposed to be doing as human beings. Not living on this. And yes, there's an app for that. There's an app for every day. That doesn't mean we have to use it. Okay? I use this. If anybody doesn't know what this is, it's an Apple Watch. I doubt it's good for me to have it so close to my skin on regular. So I time when I use it. But the number one thing I use this for, what do you all think? Alarm? Nope. What else?
Text.
Text? Nope. Emails? Nope.
You have to plug your phone next to you.
So I don't have to have my phone next to me because I can answer phone calls with this. No, the number one thing I use this for is to remind me to breathe and take breaks and drink water. So it can be used effectively if we know that we live lifestyles that can give us bad habits in not taking care of ourselves. But even to then, there's a balance to it. And if we don't get the balance, whose responsibility is that? The technology? That's on us, right? So what's safety? If I think of opposite words from safety, I think of things like harm, discomfort, threat. But what is safety? Kind of hard to define quickly.
Secure, like security to keep you secure.
Secure, comfort, the opposite of some of these things. So if it's not discomfort, it's comfort, right? All right. Some elder that I was around at some point had said that they overheard the Honorable Sarah Lee King saying something that ended with the phrase, and I'm not quoting it because I don't remember everything they said, but development, but at what cost? Because it's not that we're not supposed to develop and evolve as human beings. But there are some things that we need to hold on to, and there are other things that we need to let go of. Not everything from the past is good. Not all the ways that we were taught to do things and that we were raised is good. But not all of them are bad either. So there's a balance, right? This is all about technology, and technology, remember, is not just this, but all of the things that we use to cut down the time and effort that we put into doing whatever we do. So even to that, there's a balance that we have to learn. And if you don't know how to maintain the balance of yourself, there's something that can help you with that too. So again, whose responsibility is it for us to learn the self-discipline so that we can balance ourselves between nature and technology? Us. Okay? Is technology bad?
No.
Do we abuse it?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So that's the thing, right? Here's the next part now. Sanity. What is sanity?
In right mind.
In the right mind. How would you define sanity?
Just keep having a level head.
Okay, level head, yeah.
Level headedness.
Yeah. And I asked this question, I did like a Facebook kind of random survey just to see what people were saying. And I don't want like the textbook dictionary definition of it, just like what they call the connotative, what we think, what we feel it is. Not what they define it as, what we feel it is. Because sometimes it could be defined as one thing legally and textbook wise, but that's not what all of us think it is. So it doesn't matter that that's a definition. We have something else in our mind, right? And a couple of them that came back were the ability to adjust perception based on shared reality. And then another one was the ability to cope. So then insanity for that person was the inability to cope. So if we just use those definitions, not necessarily the textbook definition, which is a mental illness of such a severe nature that a person cannot distinguish fantasy from reality. That's dictionarylaw.com, right? But they are kind of similar, right? But if we use that alone, we know that, again, balance is necessary. How many of you know people that are too intelligent and so they've gone off? Is that actually factual? We may not know exactly, but we know that without a balance of the intellect and the spirit and other things, something gets thrown out, right? All right, so there's numerous perceptions about what's happening right now. I don't even like to to utter the words, but we'll just say C19, since everything's an acronym nowadays anyway, right? There's numerous perceptions, but there's one thing that we can all agree to. And there's one thing that's constant, if nothing else. What is that one thing that is constant? Change. So we can all agree that one way or the other things have changed, right? Technology use was bad before this situation. Now it's worse. I mean, it's like really bad, right? It's wash up. I mean, we're gonna just make up all sorts of words to emphasize how bad it is. But if you were using technology 5 hours a day before, now because of work or school or just keeping in contact with people, even if it's just text messaging, using it a lot more, right? How are we going to get ourselves, each other and individually, to find the balance in that so that we're not doing it to ourselves, we're not harming ourselves? One is going to take talking about it, because the first step is saying fixing something and you gotta realize you have a problem, right?
Yeah. A fast one before.
Yes, a slow fast.
Old fast.
A very slow fast, right? So you have to figure out, one, that you have a problem. And some of us know we have a problem, but we just saying,
The police phone you want.
doing anything about it, right?
Detention.
But there are some things that we can do, because some of us from work, I've been doing family reunions using Zoom, Zoomed out, WhatsApped out, Facebook Messenger out, texted out. I'm telling you, sometimes you don't reach me because my phone is off. And I have to do that for me. And I want to turn it back on. I have to decide what's priority to pay attention to for my health, for my priorities, which is myself, my children, my family, and then the job, and then the community, and then the job. So just know that we should all be doing that kind of thing for ourselves. Otherwise, we run in like this and we going based on whatever notification pop up next.
Correct.
All right? So 3 things that we can do to help each other, because we can't totally avoid it. All right? Unless you totally avoid it and go live someplace on an island and have food and family and be good. That is possible. It is. It's not likely for most people though. So we can do some things to keep each other healthier and sane. And not everybody want to hear these things, but I'm gonna say them anyway because it's true. And then we need to hold each other accountable. We'll start with the core and then just keep spreading it out. And it's not easy, but we have to do it. Okay, so you got to consider what you share when you have find information, when you share it and how you share it. Even if we just start with those things. There's a lot of information that could be shared related to all these topics, but I'm simplifying it. So first of all, let's remember that our levels of digital literacy with all this technology is not the same. Okay, we have different people with different amounts of knowledge of how to do it. There's some people that don't know how to send a text. There's a lot of people that don't know how to send a text. Don't know how to use WhatsApp, don't know how to use Facebook, and you don't have to learn how to use it. It's not for everybody, and everybody does not need it. So if you can avoid it, leave them alone. Right? But what you share, can we try to stop sharing everything that we find as quickly as we find it without validating? That's a big one. That's a whole nother webinar, how to validate. Because it's not easy and it's based on perception. Just because you have PH, whatever, doesn't mean, you got a lot of people with PhDs and BS, okay? So it's not about that type of validation. Just because you know how to make something doesn't mean that you are a professional in that area. So I'm not gonna go into that type of thing, but it's important that you know, and I'll probably share this flyer up on the page, how to spot fake news. It's not easy. I'm a journalist. That's my background, that's my training, okay? I'm part of the Professional Society of Journalists. So the ethics that I use when it comes to information is very, very specific. You notice I don't share a whole lot of things. I'm very cautious, but here are a couple things that I say. Consider the source, click away from some of the things that you see, check the author, do a quick search on who they are they credible, are they real? Because sometimes it's not even a real person, they're just putting on a name on there. The person don't exist. Read beyond the headlines. Headlines are clickbait. They're made for you to look in and want to find out more. So sometimes they're sensationalized. Are there supporting sources? Check the date. Sometimes people share things from years ago just because something similar is happening now. And people don't read enough to see that it's not about now. It happens. We all do it, right? Check your biases. I'm going to stop at this one. Our biases sometimes are our worst enemy. Because if we already think something about a topic, that's what we're going to read, even if that's not what it says. It happens sometimes. So there's lots of things you could go into, but the other thing is when you share, please stop sharing things with people 40 morning, all sorts of, just because you're awake doesn't mean everybody else is awake. So here's what you can do instead. If you want to share something with somebody but you think you're going to forget, you can draft it, even in the same message area that you were going to send it, but just don't press send. Why do we understand why that can cause a problem with people who are trying to rest, who don't know how to turn off their phone, who don't know how to put it on silent? There's a lot of people that don't know how to do these things. So we can't make the assumption. Okay, so just be very mindful about that. Waking hours, whatever those are, I don't share anything with people after 9 o'clock at night or before 8 o'clock in the morning. Realistically, I try to respect people's rest space. And you also, for the people themselves, you shouldn't be sleeping with these things so close to you anyway. But that's, again, a whole nother situation. And then how you share. Please stop spamming each other. We do it. How many of you are in Facebook groups, WhatsApp groups, text groups, email groups that you didn't ask to be in? Even if you think you are helping someone and that the information is good for them, I always say unwanted help is harassment. What you can do instead, because I don't want to just say don't do this, what you can do instead is, if it's Facebook, for example, post something up, let people know you want to create a group about this, or create a Facebook group and let people know they can join it. Or if you do already create the group, at least help people know how to get out of it if they don't want to be in it. And don't do it in a way that will make them feel guilty. Because you know how we tend to do things like that sometimes. You can get out if you want, but no. Allow people to feel safe and comfortable and sane for saying, I don't want to be inundated with information, even if it's information that can save me. Because you don't know how many other people are sending them what, when. Let them know that you have the information, but you don't have to send it every time you see something. So those are my three. You know, before you share, reconsider what you're sharing, when you share it, and how you share it. Because these are things that can help to minimize the stress that we are doing to each other unintentionally. And for yourself, take a break. Plan the breaks. If you don't plan the breaks, sometimes they don't happen. They just don't, because we get into what we're doing. All right? So technology is supposed to be there to help us do what we need to do faster and more efficiently. But for the sake of your sanity and everybody else's, we have to be more careful, especially in these times, and use it less and decide how we need to use it from how we don't. I could go into a whole other topic about this Zooming and this video calling and all of that and deciding when to do that from that. But that's a whole other situation. But if you understand the basics of it, you can help to reduce your screen time, which is affecting your mind, how you think, how you breathe, how your heart pumps, and how you interact with others. It's affecting all of that. The sense of immediacy and needing gratification, no, all of this is doing that. So there's a lot more, like I said, to share, but if you can at least go with those things, and I'll share this up on the Facebook page so you can just read it for yourself and find all the links for yourself. So I'll put it up on Camshell Media at some point later tonight. Okay. So thanks.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Listen.
Yes, greetings once and once. You know, give thanks for once again Sister Dara bringing forward such critical information about, you know, utilization of technology in a healthy manner, healthy way. You know, and it's a wonderful thing here. You know, I mean, I'm very proud to be a part of this, you know, critical brand, Total ITAL. I give thanks because, you know, we have a combination of ones from first and second generation Africans, you know, wonderful royal elders and so on and so forth. You know, elders that guide us in the right way, in the indigenous way, and tell us to embrace nature, tell us to embrace our culture. You know, tell us that we must move respectfully and love each other and treat one another peacefully and so on and so forth. So at this moment in time, we'll take a short break. It's going to be a 2 or 3 minute break. We'll play some music for you, and then I will introduce the next presenter. So give thanks, but just hold tight as we make sure everything is set up, and we will move forward. So 2 to 3 minute intermission at the moment.
Like sleeping.
So there's numerous perceptions about what's happening right now.
Yes, sir. So we're going live again. Yes, sir. We can do that now.
Yes.
As close as possible. Exactly. Good. So greetings, everyone. Give thanks and praise. I'm gonna have to project a little bit more. I want to say so far it's been a great total ITAL. I mean, it's been a wonderful webinar, and really I'm very happy to know that the community is really tuning in. People from across the globe is tuning in to really tap into the knowledge, the sharing, the caring from the Africans within the African community, not just from mainstream media as to what to do and how to deal with these critical times. Because for us as Rastafari, we flowing through this fearlessly and with grace, you know. So we give thanks. And once again, we give thanks for the balance, you know, of the feminine, moon energy. We give thanks and praise for all the mothers and basically all the great-grandmothers and grandmothers. And we give thanks to the little daughters. So all in all, we give thanks to Queen Omega, you know, because as kings, we recognize that Queen Omega is our balance, you know, it's our divine comfort going through the matrix. You know, we give thanks to all the elders, especially, you know, the older women. Give thanks to my mama personally and my great-grandmother, Grandmammy too. Give thanks to Mafa Fan. Give thanks for my scene. Give thanks for Grandma Josephine. Give thanks to all my aunties, you know, Auntie Clara, Auntie Rita. All right? So we give thanks to our elders, our ancestors, the feminine moon. And the final presenter of the evening is a mother of 7, part owner of Speedy Redemption, Vegan Raw Food and Sandwich Deli, one of the most popular and tasty vegan spots in St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands, along with the Kingman, Ambassador 7, which in Total ITAL Part 1 was one of the presenters who spoke about, all right, reciprocal healing, mind, body, and spirit. And he also did a presentation on the millet grain and the power of the millet grain, and blended some and presented some to the Total ITAL family. So we give thanks and praise for Ambassador 7 and Empress Karima, who has been stalwarts within the community, providing us with alkaline-based meals. And I really want, you know, the item to really tap into that particular business here in the Virgin Islands. If you want some of the healthiest alkaline meals, you can call them at 340-998-7132. 340-998-7132. So once again, this sister is not just representing herself, but she's also representing 7 powerful princes and princesses coming up in the Rastafari faith, and also representing her kingman, Ambassador 7. All right. Also, she's a member of the Ethiopia African Black International Congress Church of True Divine Salvation, Women's Freedom Liberation League. I tell you, can't beat that, you know. So our final presenter and one of the Omegas, Queen Omegas of the evening, Empress Karima, Rastafari. Give thanks and praise.
Give thanks, give thanks. Give thanks for the balance of the masculine and feminine energy. As our priest Heidi did mention, so above, so below, and he did mention the why. And it was very important for me to hear that this evening, because I never tapped into that aspect of the name Yahushua, Yahweh, and why we even use the why. So I give thanks for that clarity. It even gave me even more enlightenment as to the feminine aspect of our creator maker, you know. Give thanks for Emmanuel coming forward and teaching us the divine balance of the king and the queen, of the creator and the creatress. As Russ highly did mention, you know, during the creation time, even written within Proverbs chapter 8 specifically, we can see where the feminine being was there during the creation and is always here and shall be here. And specifically within Proverbs chapter 8, it says that I, wisdom, was there. You know, I was as one brought up with him, as highly did mention specifically during the rearing of his imperial majesty coming out of the Solomonic lineage. So was our mother of creation, Empress Menen, who I and I stand forward highly and honor as our goddess of creation. Being reared within the Solomonic lineage as well, and becoming one with His Imperial Majesty manifests the Creator and Earth as a masculine and feminine being becoming one. Okay? Empress Menen saying it within the scripture itself, it says, I was as one brought up with Him. So it shows you of her high stature as well within this creation, as well as His Imperial Majesty with His high stature, were raised in high nobility. This is Ethiopian tradition, this is Ethiopian culture and knowledge. And it is also worldwide knowledge, because this is something within the scripture as well. If you don't know your Bible, it becomes, if you don't know your history and could connect it to the Bible verses and the mantras and everything, then you won't understand the true mystery of creation. It's nothing hard, it's simple, natural aspects of creation. So once you know your history, the Bible is no mystery, because everything historically, presently, and is to come is what's written in the scripture. We have to make sure we always put ourselves back into what was taken from us, our glory, our history, so to speak. Knowing the mother of creation also, with chapter 8, it says specifically, I, wisdom, was there with Him, specifically saying, referring to wisdom as her. I know within the churches, it's refers to as the Christ or the male, but make sense out of it. If it's supposed to be the Jesus or that name or that once create to match with I, wisdom, being there during creation, then it will not be saying referred to as her. So with her Imperial Majesty Empress Menen being called one with His Imperial Majesty, even during the coronation, that gave us the know-how and the actual way to praise and honor the Creator by bringing the balance of the Creatress as well. So once again, I say give thanks to Emmanuel, the Black Christ of truly balanced salvation, that actually come forward and teach us that principle within ourselves as woman, that we can stand womanfully along with our man and bring forward life, as I hold it in my hand, the ankh. You know, the ankh represents life. This represents the womb universe as well. You know, our womb, the male phallus, and that balance within creation, which is life in itself. You know, it's even greater than that. This is a superconductor. So this shows you the electric magnetic energy as well that comes with the force and the creation of male and female energies coming together to make life. So, you know, I also wanted to just show this ankh, symbolic of I and I as woman. I also want to give time to honor one of our matriarchs within creation, Empress Ijania Christian. You know, this goddess, you know, transcend into the higher realms of our ancestors, you know, sitteth in Zion, where she will smile upon us. You know, and I'm pretty sure she's giving thanks for us to be able to do this. You know, technology, as our sisters say, is something that could be beneficial to us and it could be detrimental. But give thanks for Honorable Nayora and Rasbabi for bringing forward Total ITAL, because this is something that's very beneficial for us to be able to spread this knowledge. As our sister Ijania went from one continent to the next, we actually going from one continent to the next in a split of in live action time right now without having to physically move. So give thanks for such energy and power as well. I just wanted to take a little second moment of silence for our sister Ijania so she could take her time and smile upon us. Give thanks. I want to first and foremost start off by acknowledging the goddess within myself and how I was able to not only embrace her, but in embracing her, embrace myself, that I can become who I am. Because only when you can actually tap into your divine and manifest your work, then your purpose is being fulfilled. This helps to eliminate a lot of things that we experience. So our mental health and state of being has a lot to do with how our womb health is reflected. So mental health, as I mentioned, is the key to our overall health. We have been through many tragic moments as females. We have been through many blessed moments as females. From our young ages, coming into womanhood and the adolescence, into a womanhood. Now, we have never learned how to disattach. A lot of us have never learned how to disattach, how to, like my sister mentioned, how to keep sanity by leaving the things that we can change and changing the things that we can change, which starts with ourselves, first and foremost. Being a member of the Women Freedom Liberation League, I was able to do that because of the time that Emmanuel set forward for us as females. Now, I know in this day and age, especially in the Western world, where women have become a lot more independent, it's hard to, quote unquote, follow the fullness of the 21 days principle, which is a principle that was blessed upon us, bestowed upon us by Emmanuel when he was setting a foundation for I and I to build upon as woman. And in the 21 days purification principle, during the onset of your menstrual cycle, which we know we as female are connected to the moon, which again connects us directly to the universe, and this is why I titled this session Universal Health, because we are, as our priest did mention, reflections of the mother of creation herself that created all of this. So the way we deal with ourselves is the same way the earth will actually be. As I was mentioning in growing up, we either take on emotions that benefit us, or we take on emotions that can be detrimental. Sometimes we have gone through incest, we have gone through physical abuse, we have gone through emotional abuses. We might not have gone through any of those things. We might have been embraced as princesses, protected by our fathers, guided by our mothers, and then boom, we ended up in relationships where, you know, it's like, what is this? I don't understand this. Where did this come from? You know, that in itself also could tackle us, you know, and create different emotions that would actually be hoarded within our wombs. The way we think, the way we process our emotional feelings, you know, good thoughts, bad thoughts, all of that is housed within our womb, our universe, our universal aspect of ourselves. So what we have to do during the 21 days principle now, even if you can't separate yourself for 21 days, one of the best things you could do is find that peace within and just center yourself and become silent. You might be in a job where communication is one of the key things that you have to do. You have to speak, you know. But once that communication is out, you center yourself again. You just go within, listen to yourself. As one came before me and mentioned, what we think is what we manifest within ourselves. Our bodies, our goodies create crystals based on our emotions. Now, females, like I mentioned, we experience certain diseases because of a negative state of being, forming crystals that are not completely formed, forming deformed crystals. All of this contributes to fibrosis. It contributes to endometriosis. We also find ourselves as females, either we've lost a baby. Some people feel like life is so strenuous, they get abortions. The guilt from these things as well attaches to our wombs. When we eat flesh, when we're depressed, when we depend on sugars, all of that helps to feed these fibroids. It helps to feed these infections. It could be vaginitis, you know, it could be ovarian cysts. All these different diseases comes from, like I said, the emotional state of being, and also it's, I would say, fed or fueled by toxic foods. Now, if we look within ourselves now and within creation, there are natural herbs. Again, we've been given a mother of creation from the beginning of time who blessed us with herbs to heal ourselves. And we must honor that God is within ourselves. I have one question to ask, and it's from the scripture as well. How do we really honor and love the Creator? Anybody?
Serving humanity genuinely.
Serving humanity genuinely. That is very essential to it.
Taking care of yourself.
Taking care of yourself.
The creation.
Exactly. Creation. All of that is important when it comes to honoring and actually loving the Creator. But I'm going to say specifically what it says. It says specifically, if you love me, keep my commandments. Simple as that. We have natural laws that govern us. Natural laws as far as the circadian rhythms, as far as, like I say, just simple things like our people have been teaching us from before. If you can't fix it, leave it. Okay? We have healers around us. Visit our healers. Our sisters show us how to do yoga poses. Specific yoga poses that I've seen the sister done are things that would even help our wombs. The stirring of the pack, the rolling of the waist, the stretching of the spine. All of that helps to open up the womb as well, because the womb carries its own meridian. It's actually symmetrical where it could actually fall in on itself and become an even fold. Okay? That's how powerful our womb is. It shows it's a direct reflection of who we are. Okay? One of the things that we must do as females as well is bask within the full moon. Sometimes you just go out in nature, like our sister said, do your yoga poses under the moonlight. All of that helps us. The oxygen that we breathe during the full moon, all of that helps us as females. As we know as well, our menstrual cycles flows off of the same cycle that the moon cycle flows from. As I mentioned before, a lot of the different diseases that we have gone through, endometriosis, the cystic ovarian syndrome, pelvic inflammatory diseases, vaginitis, candida, yeast infection, urinary tract infections, cervical cancer. All these diseases can be reversed once it has not gone through. I mean, even certain people I've seen come from stage 4 cancer and revive themselves. That's how powerful nature is.
Correct.
So I won't say it can't be reversed. It can be reversed and prevented more so than anything else. And it's just by following natural rhythms, natural cycles, natural laws, and keeping our bodies alkaline. Some of the herbs that are very good for female well-being would include the red raspberry leaf, the blue cohosh, uva ursi, the gota cola, danquai. These are some of the herbs that I would mention that I have created within a womb tonic. Now, this womb tonic is very beneficial because it helps with almost every single one of these diseases that I mentioned. Now, on a local level as well, there are certain herbs that we as females can use, specifically the tiki thyme, or what was also known as the Spanish thyme. This helps with any type of female ailments, especially cramps during menstruation. So it's not always about spending money. I only mention these again because this is something that was generated again because I was able to go through a 21 days principle. There's 21 different female herbs within this tonic. Okay? And like I mentioned before, if we could take the time to make our bodies alkaline, that would help us with a lot of the ailments that we go through. Now, besides the internal healing, we can do a lot of external healing as well. This is where these other products come in. And these are products that you could actually create at home as well. Okay? I have here what I call a Yoni Spa Kit, which is these 3 products in one. This one here is made with the bentonite and the turmeric. Okay, the bentonite clay is a natural clay that helps to extract toxins. It's very good as well for calcium. Like you might have decaying teeth. You could actually take bentonite, brush your teeth with it, and that helps to restore bone mass. Okay? Now the turmeric, as we know, is an anti-inflammatory as well. Now what I do with this product is you would actually take 2 tablespoons of the product. Now, in making the product, you would want to use 2 parts of bentonite to 1 part turmeric. And then you would add, this is about 3 tablespoons of water. If you could get pure alkaline water, that's the best. But again, they like to put stuff expensive for who might not have the funds. But you could also use distilled water as well. And just make it as a paste. And this is excellent for any type of vaginitis, yeast infections, where you could actually take this product and insert into the vaginal canal, and you could wear this overnight. Now, if you could find gauze that are cotton, 100% cotton is best, or even you could create your own 100% cotton cloth. I like to use the gauze because we know they are already sterile. So what I do is you take the paste and roll it within the gauze. Like you're actually creating a funnel, a tunnel actually, with the gauze that you could insert. See if you could see it well. And you know you've mixed it well when you get a nice olive green type color. Once you get it in there, you'll take and just roll it. As you roll, you'll see it seeps out of the gauze itself. You could squeeze it, feel liberal, and just make sure it's saturated. If you have to apply a little bit more, you can. And once you make that cylindric shape, you could actually take and just insert it like you would insert a tampon, which I'm not a fan of tampons. I don't believe in them. But you could take and wear this overnight. You just insert it where you're comfortable. And this actually helps with any type of yeast infections, especially women who have gone through severe yeast infections actually have issues with the tissues in the vulva area and stuff like that. This helps to take care of that because of the anti-inflammatory properties within the turmeric. Now, just before you insert this, when you're taking your shower, I recommend that you use this feminine wash. Now, you could create your own feminine wash by just using a little bit of lavender essential, a little tip of witch hazel as well, and purified water. And you do the wash first. Make sure your pelvic, your pubic area, everything is washed. Your vulva, the labia minor is washed. You don't ever want to put any type of dyes, soaps, even Irish Spring, all those type of soaps people love to use. You should not be washing your feminine intimate area with those soaps because they're full of perfumes. They have agents in there that cause dryness, which will cause irritation as well. It will cause inflammation. And, wear clothing that helps your vagina to breathe, your vulva to breathe, all your pubic areas to breathe. There's a thing now where a lot of women like to shave or even use. I was in awe when I heard my sister tell me one of her friends actually used what they call nair, that they use to take the hairs from under their arms and on their legs to remove pubic hair. I'm like, really? Something that smells so awful and so toxic, I guess because you want to get in the wave of what's going on, but you have pubic hairs for a reason. Yes, you might want to do a little maintenance, but you should not be totally bald in those areas. You have pubic hair for a reason. a lot of females like to take off underwears and put them in dirty clothes and wash them in the laundry. All of that, again, as well, helps to create inflammations, infections, yeast infections, things that could be avoided. The same way you go in the shower and you bathe your skin every day, twice a day, sometimes as a female, 3 times a day. You make sure you go into the shower with your underwears and you wash them. You wash them with whatever soap you use to bathe your skin. I'm not talking about, again, the Irish soaps. I'm talking about like the Dudu Oshun, the all natural Castile soaps, soaps that are not loaded with perfumes and dyes. Okay, this as well is a feminine spray I also created, and it has organic coconut oil. That's something, again, you can use. You know, if you're uncomfortable because you feel you have a body odor, your vagina in itself is a natural cleansing machine, so to speak. So you don't have to be douching and doing all that stuff. If you want something natural to deodorize, you can use the natural sprays. You could wash with a little bit of lemon in water. You could use a little bit of the lavender oil in water and massage the pubic area with pure cold pressed coconut oil. These are some of the things that would absorb into your body. And again, you could get internal and external healing from pure coconut oil just to detoxify yourself. Even with certain chlorophylls, you could create a chlorophyll with the dandelion, the parsley, celery, cucumber, if you do use anything from a vine because it's a cooling effect. You could also use, what's the name of it? The yellow dock. If you could blend these herbs and drink them on a regular basis, first thing you do in the morning, you wake up, you drink a cup of water. The next thing should be some type of green juice. All that helps to deodorize the body. It helps to, get the natural flow and function of cleansing that not only your vagina does, your arm does it, your eyes does it, your nose does it, but the vagina in itself is something that naturally cleanses itself. So you don't have to do too much. It could actually throw off the natural balance of the vagina. One of the things that I also would like to share, which I know a lot of people are becoming more and more familiar with, are the yoni eggs. This one is with the crystal amethyst. The amethyst is also good for, the higher intellect. If you're going through emotional issues, you might have gone through some hurts and pains, you could actually get a yoni egg with the rose quartz, which is very important to heal the emotional body, because we have 3 bodies: the physical, the mental, the emotional. And of course, as we mentioned, the emotional is what affects our wounds the most. So if you could get some rose quartz, that helps a lot as well. And the carmeline as well helps with that reproductive organ. Now, this might seem a bit big to some. So we have different size yoni eggs. You could start from the big one, and as you exercise the Kegel muscle, you continue to go down in size so that you could let your vagina do its natural work. It helps to lubricate as well. A lot of females go through dryness because of imbalances within the flora, the vaginal flora. So yoni eggs also helps to give you that natural lubrication that you need. Irish moss as well does that. As we know, it has almost 90-something different trace minerals. My time is coming to a closure, but there's so much more to share, prayerfully maybe on the next webinar. I have a lot more to share as well, but these are some of the simple things that you could use. Make sure you intake a lot of ginger. Ginger, turmeric, and lemon is a great drink that you could also intake so that you could continue to cleanse and build the blood at the same time. Once again, I want to give thanks to Nayora. I want to give thanks to all the listening ears, and I do pray that we could practice some of these natural remedies that we could help to heal ourselves, which will in turn heal the universe. Give thanks.
Wow. Yes, sir. Just really want to help me move. Can I hear you? It's actually over free. So, so, all right. So, give thanks, give thanks, give thanks. So, what a royal time, what a great experience we've had here. Once again, for those of you that tuned in, we want to say thank you for that. We really appreciate that you were patient and you stayed in tune. I really want to speak about the services because now there are those of you watching that may be interested in knowing more, in contacting, these various gods and goddesses of, the Rastafari tribe, because you may be interested in some of the information and some of the products that they have available. So one by one, right now, I am going to mention how you can contact these ones, whether through phone number, whether through email, where you can contact them and so on and so forth. So first and foremost, I want to say that Priest Haile Israel, all right, our beloved priest that actually spoke about the importance of Queen Omega and introduced prayer and made sure that we remember prayer, reverence, all right, African reverence, spoke about, the black, the black power, the energy that we carry, and so on and so forth, and the importance of knowing tradition and pronunciation of names and so on and so forth. Yeshua, Yahweh, right? Our ancestors called the Almighty these names, so we have to respect them. We have to honor them. But at the same time, Brother Haile, like I said, is a PhD in music. He's a doctor, literally, in music. Spiritually, and also he's a doctor of music. He has that certification. So those of you who would like to learn to play the guitar, would like guitar lessons, and also would love to have some spiritual reasoning, you can contact Brother Haile at okay. You can contact him at Philaya Haile at Gmail. PHILIAHHAILEI at Gmail. Philaya Haile at Gmail. I'm gonna say it again. PHILIAHHAILEI at gmail.com. Right? So that's Philaya Haile at Gmail. Those of you that would like to learn how to play the guitar from a literal doctor of music, doctor, in my sessions and so on and so forth. And also, yes, one thing I have to mention is that Beautiful Soul, my next single, will be dropping on this month, May 29th, on all streaming platforms. All streaming platforms is going to have Beautiful Soul, and it was produced. The music behind that song was produced by Haile Israel. So I want to say give thanks for being a great example, not just as a musician, not just as a doctor of music, but as a spiritual man, a spiritual angel in our community. We thank you for that. Rastafari. So that is for those of you that would like to contact Haile, again, that email for his services. So again, then we go to Daddy, Ras Bobby, the Caribbean herbalist, Ras Bobby Herbal Products. Those of you that would love to have the herbs, are interested in knowing more about Daddy's herbs, and even those of you that would like to contact the office, you can call the office at 340-775-0851, 340-775-0851, right? And our receptionist will answer, and you can speak, all right, and voice your concerns and so on and so forth. So we want to give thanks to Ras Bobby, the Caribbean herbalist, and Ras Bobby Herbal Products, who also is hosting, along with Rise Up Publishing, this Total ITAL Caribbean Indigenous Healers webinar. All right. Also, you can contact us at Ras Bobby Management at Gmail. Ras Bobby, RASBOBBY Management at Gmail as well. For those of you. Okay, also we have Sister Aisha, okay, with the movement of the spine. Those movements, those wonderful movements that help you to free up the spine. For those of you that have interest, you can contact her at an email at lifeisaisha, LIFEISAISHA at gmail.com. Lifeisaisha at gmail.com for those of you that have interest in that. And then so we move forward now to Raspidi. See, as we know, what's the name of your company again, Bridget?
Juice for healing.
Juice for healing. All right. You spoke about the power and the importance of chlorophyll and what it does for your cells. You spoke about the understanding, knowing how powerful, and this is a key. You're talking about a key that opens up a certain door within your temple. Chlorophyll, so powerful. Green plants all around us because God wants us to consume chlorophyll, but He has a product called chlorophyll. Seeing that I myself personally, I will be taking part in investing in that product. So basically, but there's a way to contact Raspidi, and you can contact him at 344 9700 for those of you that are interested in chlorophyll, getting the healthiest, most alkaline chlorophyll. You can call Speedy at that number. Also, we have Sister Dara Munifa is there. Do you want to is there a way to contact you via email or Facebook?
Email me at councilmedia.com.
Councilmedia.com.
No, literally, that's the email.
Okay.
Email me.
Okay. No, this is literally it. Email me, right? Email me at councilmedia.com. EMAILME at councilmedia.com. All right. So we have that in terms of the technology and the safe uses. So as we forward through, we have also Sister Karima, Empress Karima, and Ambassador 7. We spoke about those alkaline meals, and once again, you can contact them 340-998-7132. All right, contact Speedy Redemption. Or you can also contact 407-627-8055. 8059. Okay, so once again, this is all about information. This is a critical time. We are here to support, our universe. This is Rastafari. And so before we seal things up, like we started with prayer, we're going to end with prayer. And we're going to ask the group to come forward and stand together as we did in the beginning. As it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. And the end is not linear, it's circular. So we don't start and we don't finish. We just are, we exist. This is Rastafari. See, we was here before and we shall be here again and again and again. You can't stop I and I. This is not a belief. This is in our DNA. So we give thanks, Majesty I the first, Yeah, man. So exactly. Balance. See right there? Balance. Rastafari. Yeah, man. Give thanks. Give thanks. So please.
Yes, Naira TV. You must tune in. If you miss it, it's all right. Technology, you can watch it again and again and again. So yes, I'm so blessed to be in the presence of living angels, both male and female, gods and goddesses. I would like to ask the gods that we speak of them. Yes, I am. We have a tradition. This group class that we're going to start tonight. The help studio. I think right now, Queen Omega, Mama Africa, speak for us on Tuesday after prayer. Very touching.
Give thanks. Give thanks for our loved ones coming forward with the knowledge that they, see necessary to share within creation. Give thanks for the masculine energies. Give thanks for the feminine energies. As we stand here united as masculine and feminine energies, I send out within creation that balance necessary to sustain life. With the masculine and feminine energies, let us unite in a way that it would impact the youth of today, as the youth is our future. Give thanks for the strength, the knowledge, the wisdom, and understanding bestowed upon us, that we may share from this time henceforth and forever, for more generations to come and build upon. We give thanks and we stand forward today as pioneers within this leadership role of uniting the masculine and feminine. We give thanks for touching our soul enough to that point where we understand ourselves, we understand our role, and we desire to share and emanate that energy with all within creation right now. With so said, Sila, let it be that all shall, witness this and, act upon it. Because it's not about just listening, it's also about us acting upon it, so that the will shall be done on earth as it is in whole Mount Zion. Holy Omega I, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Give thanks for blessing I and I with thy natural herbs. Give thanks for blessing I and I with thy feminine, nurturing energy to bring balance within this time. Give thanks for giving I and I the strength as female, as woman of right, to stand up womanfully and taking our stand, that we may be able to be a reflection of you, O Mother Creation. Give thanks for blessing I and I with even ones like Ijanya Christian, as she's sitting upon me right now, watching over us. Give thanks for blessing I and I, O Most High Goddess of creation, with thy divine humbleness, that we may be able to submit to the righteous path. Let us stand womanfully and manfully and do the Father's will as it is in whole Mount Zion. Sila, Omega I, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, Holy Emmanuel I,
Selassie,
Jah, Rastafari, John Marcus I,
Selassie,
Jah, Rastafari. So shall it be.
So fly away home to Zion, fly away home. I and I fly away home to Zion, fly away home. For one bright morning, when our work is over, I will fly away home. Jah, Rastafari, Selassie.
Yeah, so another mighty work, another great work. And this is the, the ceiling of the ceiling of the ceiling right here. I want to give thanks to those people in the back who you cannot see. The couple of people in the back that's been holding it down for us. We thank you so much from the depths of our heart. But yeah, this was a wonderful time. Again, in 21 days again, which is, give me 1 second. Yeah. So on the 1st, yes, I give thanks. On the 1st of June is the next total ITAL. The 1st of June is the next total ITAL. The 1st of June is the next total ITAL, 21 days from now. Okay, so this is where we are at. I wish to see you again and again and again. And we shall be disseminating more information to the planet, our community, to the Rastafari brothers and sisters across the globe. For those of you open to consciousness, for those of you open to tradition, for those of you open to spirituality. And we shall continue to do God's work and continue to persevere and do positive things in our life so that we may just better ourselves, so that we could reach the peak to experience the bliss that must be experienced while in the flesh. For we know who we are. We are not afraid to say it to the world, and you must know yourselves as well. Do not be afraid. Do not fear nothing that the system have to present. Just be conscious, be strong, and know that Rastafari is there for all of us. So, Give thanks and praise. I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari, govern and create love, one universal love to the nation. Blessed love, this is Nayora saying, tune in June 1st again. June 1st for the next Total ITAL. See you then. Yeah, man. Blessed. And remember the music. Beautiful Soul. Dropping May 29th, 2020. All right? Don't forget about that. Beautiful Soul. Brand new Nayora song being released May 29th, 2020. All streaming platforms. Bless up.